In certain businesses, expanding geographically may be much easier, even though it may look daunting because it's a different country, different language, but it might be much easier than expanding a new vertical. My name is Alex Hadjieleftheriou, CEO and co-founder of Blueground. Blueground is a prop tech company operating right now 8,500 apartments with a plan to expand to 50,000 apartments by 2025. We started back in 2013 with just a single apartment in Athens, Greece. And my initial target was just to go to 50, and I thought that would be able to be sustainable. But as we grew, we were so excited about what our clients were telling us and how they loved the business and the fact that we could move from one city to another, from one neighborhood to another. So we're excited to continue expanding. Expansion can be a double-edged sword. It's one of the most exciting things for people. I've never seen the team being more, writing more messages in our common channel for when we launch a new market, a new city. People just post like the famous sites of that city. Everyone's getting so excited. So it's always a way to create momentum and excitement in the organization. At the same time, it's a difficult thing to do, right? So you have to split if it's the first expansion or a future expansion, split your attention into multiple markets, recruit in new geographies that you may not have a network. So it can be challenging. So especially in the beginning of the journey, the first expansion market, in our case, we started from Greece and we expanded in Turkey, in Istanbul. You have to make it work. It's very important to make it work because investors, team, stakeholders are looking at the business, are looking at you as a founder, as an entrepreneur, and they will assess whether you can scale the business and you can be successful in more than one jurisdiction. There are a lot of companies that have been able to dominate one market and be great at one market, but haven't been able to do that effectively in another one. So the failure in the early days may translate into your story as a business and your trajectory as a founder and entrepreneur. So in my case, I wanted this to be a success. So I actually moved in the first 3 expansion cities to make sure that we would maximize the probability of success. So in the case that you want to allocate more of your time, so whether you move into the new city or not, still allocate more time in the expansion, that means that you dilute your attention and energy with your first market, right? Or your initial markets. So it's very important to really lead expansion effectively to ensure that the home market is able to sustain not just the current revenue, but also grow, improve. So you need to have a team in place that can do that. Promoting from within is always a great option, but the mandate should be that you're not just maintaining, but you're improving, you're growing, and you have to give autonomy to the team. So it's a little bit of a difficult thing to handle because on one side you want to make sure that things are improving, but you should not be doing that. The team should be doing that. At the same time, making sure that your model works in a new market can be challenging because you need to tweak some of the things or some of the processes and approach. So that's why being on the ground is important. So for a business that relies on expansion to grow, it would not just be one market, it will be multiple markets. So it's important not just for you, the entrepreneur, to lead that expansion, but to get others with you. In an ideal scenario, people from the initial market that join you, or even at the new market, people that are open to learning the ropes of how you set up initially the operations, and then they're open and willing to do so in future markets, so that you create capability within the organization to be able to multiply the expansion in the future. So it's always important to be one step ahead. In our case, we had to expand in multiple markets to be able to grow the business. So we created a separate team that was able to do that and started codifying and standardizing the practices. And these people were key for having successful expansions. We're excited and proud to say that all of our expansion markets, now 27, they've all been successful. And I think one of the key reasons for that is the fact that there was a team that was motivated and passionate about making this a success. So expansion can be geographical or vertical. In our case, and as in the early days of the business and myself as an entrepreneur, we made mistakes. And that's pretty common for entrepreneurs in the beginning to think they can do more than what they can actually do, because when you scale a business, even doing a part of, even offering one product, one service, it becomes very challenging. And in the early days, it's difficult to see that. So in our case, we did both a geographical expansion and a vertical expansion. So we moved from 30-day plus, which is we're offering furnished rentals for 30-day plus, and we moved to below 30 days, which is really kind of more of a vacation leisure type of product. And that was actually too different. Despite the product itself being similar, it was again the apartments, there were different channels, different operational model, and even though we did that in Greece, that ended up being much more challenging than expanding geographically. So that's a common mistake. I've been told not to do it, and I still do it, and I still did it. So just another word of caution: just think about it think about it hard, and think about what you can actually do effectively at scale. In certain businesses, expanding geographically may be much easier, even though it may look daunting because it's a different country, different language, but it might be much easier than expanding in a new vertical. So every business is different, but in our case, definitely that was the case. So what looks easy because it's near and you have more proximity, expanding in the same country, may actually may work against the longer prospects of the company. So 3 learnings for entrepreneurs that are expanding into new markets. First, it's important to spearhead the expansion. Whether you move to the new country or not, you need to be very close and understand what's different. Second, you need to train a team. It's not just about you. There will be multiple expansion markets, so people need to be able to do that without you. And not just execute, but also improve and develop a system without you. And third, even though expanding into a new geography may seem intimidating because of different landscape, different language, it might be much easier to do that than try to find new products and new verticals within your own market.